we are good now.
Okay, welcome to the Troy Planning Commission meeting for Wednesday, June 8th, 2022. For those of you that are listening or watching out there, we've got a little bit of technical difficulties. That's why we're starting a little bit late. We've now taken care of those. 4 of the 7 members of the Planning Commission have responded affirmatively to roll. 3 are absent. And what that means is that unanimous action has to be taken on any actions coming before the Planning Commission today to pass. Next, we have our minutes of our May 25th meeting. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions of those minutes?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion and support for the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? They stand approved. Thank you. Historic District application, item number 3 on the agenda. Staff have a report.
Yes, sir. So at the April 13th Planning Commission meeting of this year, the Planning Commission approved the request for removal and replacement of the 2nd-story ledge log and 1st-story sill log with some Dutchman repairs. Essentially, this request is for the same request that we approved in April of this year. Just on the east elevation, additional funding was made available for the Overfield Tavern, and that's why we're here today. There is one more elevation, which is the west elevation, that will come back before the Planning Commission as funds allow. Staff recommends approval of the requested removal and replacement of the 2nd-story logs and the Dutchman repairs on the 1st-story logs on the east elevation with the following conditions. The exterior repairs are reviewed and approved by the Miami County Department of Development, and the chinking and daubing mortar repairs and replacement will include historically appropriate mortar mixtures. And that'll conclude my report.
Commission members have any questions of staff? Commission members want to take any action?
I move to approve.
With the conditions set forth?
And you're seconded, Mr. Wilkie, is that
Yes.
correct? There's a motion and second that the application be approved with the conditions cited by staff. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. McGarry?
Yes.
Mr. Cappers?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkie?
Yes.
Mrs. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Approved.
Next, we have a historic district application for the Caroline. Staff have a report.
Yes, sir. So this is the applicant, Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Stimolo Car LLC is requesting approval from the Planning Commission to review the 1st floor window replacements. It's important to note that at the July 25th, 2018 Planning Commission meeting, the Planning Commission unanimously approved the request to replace the 20 3rd floor windows. So this is for 10 1st floor windows with the same manufacturing and design as the previously approved 3rd floor windows. The proposed window design is Mueller Roofing Distributors Pinnacle Clad Sandstone 7/8" standard WDL with inner bar. There is a design graphic. Mr. Smith has also provided a model window, if you could show that.
Good afternoon. This is what the window looked like from the exterior, except the black be what the current color is on the 3rd floor. This is proposing phase 2 of a 3-phase project. The next phase would be doing 20 2nd floor windows, probably within a 3 to 5 year time, just depending on how this install goes and how everything else is going. Got the same installer, got the same manufacturer.
And these windows will be mirrored in look the same as the 2nd floor windows?
Yes, exactly. They'll be double hung.
Any questions of staff or the applicant? Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Okay.
Commission will take any action.
I'll move that the recommendation of the staff be approved.
Second.
There's a motion second in support of the application. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Cappers?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkie?
Yes.
Mrs. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. McGarry?
Yes.
Approved.
Next, we have a rezoning application for an annexation. Staff have a report.
Yes, sir. So this is for 1322 Washington Road. Essentially, this is a part of the Canfarelli annexation that was approved under Ordinance 04-2022. We are proposing that the rezoning request go to R3 single family residential district. The zoning code describes the R3 district as designed to accommodate single-family dwellings on lots with areas of at least 15,000 square feet. Due to the straightforward nature of this rezoning request, the compliance with the City of Troy Comprehensive Plan, and the fact that City Council is required to hold a public hearing if this request proceeds on, staff does not recommend a public hearing at this time. It is staff's opinion that the proposed rezoning is consistent with the established surrounding areas in the comprehensive plan, which shows this area to be developed as residential. Staff is recommending that the Planning Commission provide a positive recommendation of the proposed zoning change from county zoning of R1 AAA one family to the city zoning of R3 single family residential based on the following. The property is currently being utilized as residential use. The proposed rezoning is consistent with the intent and purposes of the zoning code. The proposed rezoning is consistent with the surrounding districts and comprehensive plan. That'll conclude my report.
Any questions of staff?
A couple of years ago, I talked to a member of the school board, and they indicated they were not having any problem with overcrowding in the schools based on all these subdivisions. Have we stayed in communication with the schools and what impact all these subdivisions are having?
Yeah, so for our overall subdivisions, we've been in communication. This is just the annexation of one single family lot. So this particular request is not a part of an overall subdivision.
This lot would be within the Troy School District anyway, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be.
For you, that was Tim Davis who answered that in the firm. Any other questions of staff? We have a determination as to whether or not we want to hold a public meeting. So let's take that issue first.
I move we do not have a public hearing.
Is there support for that motion? Mr. McGarry. Okay, any further discussion?
I'll move that we provide a positive recommendation.
Let's vote on the first motion first, I'm sorry.
Public hearing.
And this is on the public hearing, and an affirmative vote is not to have a public hearing. Please call the roll.
Mr. Wolke?
Yes.
Mrs. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. McGarry?
Yes.
Mr. Cappers?
Yes.
Okay, motion is passed. Commission will not hold a public hearing.
Mr. Wolke, take it away.
Okay, I move that we provide an affirmative recommendation to council.
Is there support for
I'll
that?
second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. McGarry?
Yes.
Mr. Cappers?
Yes.
Mr. Wolke?
Yes.
Motion is adopted.
Okay, next we have a dedication of a right-of-way. Staff have a report.
Yes, sir. So this is 1091 South Dorset Road. This is for .33 acres of lot 7392 or 1091 South Dorset. The reason for this request is that we have a proposed development of this lot. This plat has been reviewed by the city engineer, and staff is requesting that Planning Commission make a recommendation to City Council to dedicate the .33 acres as right-of-way.
Let me ask a quick question. And I see from the plat map here, the hatched part is the right-of-way that's being presented, okay? Is that going to change the pavement at all? Are we putting in a turn lane, or what's the story on that?
We don't have any turn lanes being proposed at this time. This is more of cleaning up the intersection for the development. The owner of the adjacent property to the east dedicated upon their development, so this is merely just cleaning up the intersection in terms of right-of-way.
Okay. All right. And the proposed cross-access easement, that looks like they're going to try to do a lot split?
Yeah, so there is a future proposed lot split.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Any other questions of staff? What we're looking for is a recommendation of City Council. Commission want to take action.
I'll move for a positive recommendation.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. McGarry?
Yes.
Mr. Cappers?
Yes.
Mr. Wolke?
Yes.
Mrs. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Next, we have a proposed amendment to the zoning code. Staff have a report.
Yes, sir. So on November 15th of 21, City Council adopted a moratorium of 180 days on the issuance of certificates of appropriateness to allow demolition or removal of a historic or contributing property, except immediate demolitions related to public safety in the Historic Preservation Overlay District. On May 14th, a new moratorium was provided so staff could continue to research ordinance provisions of Ohio communities. We did look at 20-plus communities. Many of those have the certified local government status, and this is a result of that. Being that we have only 4 members present and we want to give the public a chance to review, we are requesting that the Planning Commission schedule a public hearing related to the proposed changes of the HPO district.
Okay, I don't have any problem with the public hearing. I've got a couple of questions concerning what you've submitted. Would
Okay.
now be an appropriate time to do that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. First of all, on the first page, 113707D, and I had reviewed this before, and this was one of my prior comments.
Okay.
The sentence says, timeline for appeals. Appeals to the appeals board shall be filed within 30 days from the decision, determination, or interpretation by filing a, and it doesn't say decision of whom.
Under applicability, anyone who's charged with the administration and enforcement of this zoning code, including the zoning administrator or planning commission.
So it would be appropriate then to say decision, determination, or interpretation by the zoning administrator or the planning commission,
Correct.
right? Can we put that in?
I can certainly do that.
The sentence just seems to flow if you put a noun in there,
Yep, I can do that.
okay? And then on page 11, C, complete application determination, small Roman numeral 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines down is the word determines. I think it meant determined.
Yep, that is correct.
And if you'll bear 1 minute with me, well, does anybody else have any comments? I want to look through my pages here. Page 15, just above review criteria. You see that in paragraph 4?
On page 15,
15, yeah.
item 4.
Item 4, we had noted this before. You've got appeals board in here, and then you've got Board of Zoning Appeals, and you had indicated that they're one and the same. Well, let's not use 2 different titles in the paragraphs,
Yes, sir.
okay? Yes, sir, I like the respect. That's good. Let's see here. Page 20, you've got large I, and this may be just ignorance on my part, but it talks about a contract with the city. Tell me about that contract and the process, because I don't ever remember seeing a contract. It says the demolition approved by the Planning Commission has not taken place within the time period agreed on in the applicant's contract with the city.
It's just essentially a written document where Planning Commission designates staff on the agreeance of the guarantee. So when Planning Commission reviews the reuse plan and we establish the financial guarantee, that essentially will be a part of the certificate of appropriateness. That acts as the written contract.
And you're calling that the contract?
We're
then?
calling it the contract.
Okay. All right. Bear with me for just a minute. And did Grant get back to you concerning all the penalty provisions?
We had actually removed the penalty provisions. We were going to come back with a later request to update our overall penalties.
Okay. Those are the only changes I had. Anybody else have anything else they wanted to change on this or alter or amend or discuss? Okay, well, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and with the changes provided, have a public hearing on this issue. I think it's kind of important.
Second.
There's motion second. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Cappers.
Yes.
Mr. Wolke.
Yes.
Mrs. Ehrlich.
Yes.
Mr. McGarry.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Okay. Staff have anything else to come before the commission today?
We do not, thank you.
Commission members, you want to discuss anything? How about that strawberry festival?
Awesome.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn then.
I so move.
Is there support for the motion?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We stand adjourned.